Peace, love, and light. Greetings, blessings, Hetep. What up, though? Like, hey guys, what's going on? It's your girl Crystal, the Raw Spiritual Guru, coming through. And today I'm coming through with a new video. Now, it's not going to be a tarot video. If you guys follow my channel, you know I'm trying to incorporate my spiritual practices as well as tarot within this channel. So today we're going to be talking about the ancient deities, the ancient Egyptian deities. So I personally have been working with Het Heru. She is one of the ancient Egyptian deities of Khemet, however you pronounce it, Khemet. Now, in April, I had a 30-day journey with the deity, and I'm going to talk to you about my experience with working with Het Heru. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks as well, so I have notes that I will be reading. So before I get into that, guys, first and foremost, welcome. If this is your first time coming through, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It would be much appreciated. Also, let's talk about the deities in general briefly, and then I'm gonna get into my experience with Het Heru. So dealing with the Egyptian deities, right, since they're like really older deities, like you have to come at them with the utmost respect. You have to come at them when you're truly ready to work with them. It's like no lollygagging. Like you literally have to be strict and determined to receive whatever outcome it is that you're trying to receive when you're working with these type of deities. In my past, I've worked with Auset. I worked with Auset several times, as well as I worked with Sekhmet. And this is my first time working with Het Heru. And the only god I've ever worked with was Sebek. Now, I was thinking about working with Heru or even Osir. That's in the future, but right now my spirit is gravitated to working with the goddesses, so I just follow with what I'm guided to do, right? So my experience with working with Het Heru has been absolutely amazing. She is an amazing deity. You know, Het Heru, if you're not familiar with her Khemetic name, she also goes by Hathor or Oshun. So I know a lot of people usually work with Oshun or even Hathor, but that's another name for Het Heru. I always respect the deities and just call them by their original Khemetic names. So I actually worked with Het Heru. I meant to grab my my pyramid I got of Het Heru. If I remember towards the end, I'll show you guys, but I have like a custom pyramid of Het Heru as well as her statue, because when I was working with Het Heru, I had an altar built for her, because when you do any type of work with the deities, it's also your duty to honor them, right? So how do you honor them? My best way to honor a deity or ancestor is to build an altar. So with my altar, you know, I got yellow roses on there. I couldn't really find roses for her. I had painted these roses, guys. Like I couldn't find roses for her, so I went to the store, dollar store, bought white roses, and I painted them yellow. So that shows you how much like I was like really determined to represent the deity and provide to the deity what it was that she truly, you know, honored. So I'm gonna just turn off this music because I don't know what's doing. It started going into rock, yo. It was like African drums, whatever. Also like on the deity, on the altar for the deity, you know, I'm gonna go into her likes and dislikes. So I put her favorite likes on the altar. I made a spray oil mist for her, so I'll spray it every day for her, you know, and like I'll say my thanks, my prayers. I ask her, you know, what it is that I'm trying to obtain by working with her and things like that, right? So I'm just go into like the nitty gritty of working with Het Heru. Like I said, I'll try to show you guys my pyramid in the end. If I don't show it to you, I'll possibly even have it as a thumbprint or something. It's, you know, I'll try. Okay, so Het Heru, she is actually she's one of the oldest deities. She's a part of the universal creation, right? The colors, and this is very significant. If you ever want to work with this goddess, is very significant because you want to make sure you honor the goddess and what they like and what they value. So Het Heru colors are yellow and green, right? I only had like this green, so I wore this green. So you don't have to be very technical with what shade of the color. As long as you either utilize yellow or green for her, then you know that would still be honoring the deity. On my altar for her is a yellow cloth, a cotton yellow cloth. And then when I did my spiritual practice with the deity, this was my ensemble. I wore green, army green, because this is what I had, right? You could go out and buy green. I always say go to like a fabric store if you're able to. You just really want to show the deities that you truly, you know, respect them, and you want to come correct always, right? So it don't matter what shade, just make sure you utilize the colors yellow and green. Her number is the number 5. So that's just her number. The day that she rules is Friday, and she also rules the planet Venus, which is the planet of love, right? So with her ruling the day of Friday, so anytime on Friday you could do your spiritual practices with Het Heru, because that is her day. That means that she's in during that full day, right? What do that mean? So that means that you can contact Het Heru at any time on Friday, because she's going to be in for that full day. That's the day that she rules. So that's what that means. The time that she rules, which is very important as well. So the time frame that Het Heru rules is 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So other than Friday, if you want to truly work with the deity, you have to honor her time. So when she's in between the hours of 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., right? So during those hours, it's usually the wind down hours. Technically is the time frame that we should be like getting ready for rest. So we will probably run a salt bath, like a Epsom salt bath with some of her essential oils in it to honor the deity, and you'll take a bath. You could do a spiritual bath within that and try to connect with the deity that way. Or you can take your bath during that time, and once you cleanse yourself from the day, you could come back to work with her, especially if you're going to do some type of chant, right? If you decide to try to reach out to the deity chant-wise, you always want to make sure you're cleansed. So don't do any type of chant work with any deity before you cleanse yourself. And I'll go over the mantras that she'll use for her chant work in a second. So, like I said, she rules the planet Venus, which is the planet of love. So, if you don't know who Het Heru is, she is the deity of love, beauty, and manifestations, right? Yes, of course, every deity have a good side and a bad side. I'm just highlighting what I was utilizing this deity for. So, her crystals or gemstones is diamond, white, zirconic. So I got that on this ring, and I had gifted her with a zirconic ring as well, and I just took the other band to wear it while I was working with the deity, as well as copper and white coral. It says the time of year that you know is good to work with her is when the full moon is in Libra. This I don't know how that's pronounced. It said sidereal full moon in Libra. So if you notice, this past April we were in the full moon in Libra. So from March into April we was in the full moon in Libra, right? So originally I was going to work with the deity in March, but I was doing a lot, and it didn't really blend well with what I was trying to do. So I was like, well, when I read that, I said, well, hey, how ironic that at the end of the month it's about to be a full moon in Libra, and that'll be the best time to work with this deity. So that's what I chose to do. So the herbs that she used is yellow roses, honeysuckle, parsley, vetiver, spearmint, sandalwood, and a maiden's hair. So if you are a woman and you chose to give Het Heru an offering, you could cut a piece of your hair and give it to her if you chose to. That's just your discretion if you wanted to. Or you could use one of the herbs that I just said above to honor the deity. Some of the oils and incense that the deity like is rose, sandalwood, honeysuckle, and cinnamon. So like I said, you could either get those incense or you can make an oil blend. So what I did was I made a oil blend with the rose, sandalwood, and cinnamon, and then I put some holy water in there, and then I shook it up and I just sprayed it on her altar daily, to just show my thanks and my respect to the deity. Now if you don't have that, if you can't get that fancy, I understand. You could grab some incense. It could be the rose incense, sandalwood, cinnamon, or honeysuckle incense. So the direction of the deity, which is important if you are going to build an altar for her. If you want to work with her in the spiritual aspect, then you'll put the deity on your altar on the southwest part of your altar. So that would be her place, the southwest part. But if you want to work with her on the mundane plane, which is just the physical plane, you'll put her north of your altar, right? So her mantra, this is what you would chant to connect with the deity. So her mantra is cling. So cling, cling, cling. But of course you want to breathe. Cling. Breathe from your stomach. Cling. And really when you chant, you're going to go into a trance mode. And like I said, you have to do all this after your cleanse. So it's possibly best to do it for real after you take a spiritual bath. You could take a spiritual bath, and if you choose to, after you cleanse yourself and you're still in the bath, you could still chant too, because that's the time for you to connect with the deity. I know I do a lot of spiritual meditation work while I do bathe, just because like I'm a water child and I connect to the water easily, and it just is an element for me that's high vibrational and help me manifest, you know. But I could do that outside the bath as well, but I choose to do it within baths if I'm able to, because it just is a different type of connection for me. But you have to be cleansed before you chant, period. And that's just with anything. It's technically you should be chanting like in the wee hours of the morning. I want to say like around 3 a.m. To get the most powerful outcome of your chant. But when you work with specific deities, you still have to honor their time. So if you chant at 3 a.m., you're not going to get in contact with Het Heru, because she's not going to be in. Unless you chant with her on a Friday at 3 a.m. because she's in all day. You know what I'm saying? So her times is 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you want to make sure you cleanse yourself. And if you're working with her on a spiritual plane, then you'll just use the mantra cling. K-L-I-N-G. Cling. If you're working with her on the physical, on the planetary, if you're working with her on a planetary level, which would be Venus, like if you're trying to connect with her through Venus, like, you know, really like solely love, then you'll chant drang, drang, drong, drang, drang, drong. So A-U-N-G, drang, D-R-A-N-G, dring, D-R-I-N-G, drong, D-R-A-U-N-G. Okay, so that's how you would connect with her on a planetary level. Some of the offerings that you could provide to Het Heru is oranges, honey, cinnamon, jewelry, copper, cubic zirconia, white coral, or a peacock feather. Okay, so I'm gonna just get into a little bit of notes that I took about this deity. So Het Heru is Het Heru attributes deals with love, sexual energy, pleasure, internal healing, manifestations, which deals with the visualizations and the imaginations. So sorry for my lisp, okay? I'm apologizing for that in advance, okay? So with Het Heru, right? She really deals with the yoni. Okay, P power, the yoni. Her element is copper. So, you know, when you're dealing with the goddess of love, you think about sexual energy, sexual beauty, pleasure, but you're not even thinking about the internal healing that she brings, or the love aspect that she brings, or even the manifestation aspect that she brings. With her, it's all about visualizing what it is that you want, what it is that you're trying to manifest or bring into your world. Are you really utilizing the imagination skills, like the law of attraction, like you already have it? You think, therefore you are, right? But she's a very strict deity to work with. So when you work with this type of deity, you have to look at your morals. You have to look at your character. So you have to make sure that you come correct and you're not trying to scheme or, you know, manipulate or try to get over with this type of deity. You have to be specific and direct when you're working with this deity. If you don't have a pure heart or pure intent, then she won't come to you. She won't work with you. Het Heru is different than Hathor and Oshun, because with Hathor and Oshun, you could give them an offer and the deities will work with you. With Het Heru, it takes way more than just an offer. Like, your intentions have to be good. Like, you have to know thyself. Like, when it comes to Het Heru, you have to know thyself. Like, you can't bend or fold to the will of others. You have to truly know what it is that you want, what it is that you need in life, and you have to be able to understand certain things. So some of the things you need to work with Het Heru is you need to understand communication, you need to understand law, you need to understand peace, and you need to understand pleasure. Because this is the goddess of creation and visionary, you have to have a powerful imagination. You have to be very creative. You need to understand the process of visualizing what it is that you want to aid the purpose that you're trying to achieve, right? Because anytime you work with a deity, you're trying to gain something out of it. So usually we'll give a deity an offer to gain something, right? With Het Heru, because she's such an older deity and she comes from the universal creation side, it's like you need to be more than just offering her some oranges and honey. You know, you gotta work. Your mind gotta be ready to work with her. You gotta be ready, right? You must live in the light. So that's why I said your heart have to be pure. Like, that's why I said when I was going to do it in March, I was going through a lot of things, so it wasn't the best time. So I just rid those energies and I was real focused for April, and I decided to work with the deity. She helps to stimulate your chi energy with your emotional energy, right? So it's going into the law of attraction. You have to affirm what it is that you want. Verbalize, affirm what it is that you want for yourself and what you're trying to attract in your life. You have to be mindful of the light code that you're willing to take on. You have to be, in a sense, childlike, because if you remember how a child thinks, children think with their imagination. They'll have a whole tea party with friends and family in an hour, and you be looking at them and be like, well, where is everyone at? You know, because they just are so imaginative. So you have to tap into your creative energy, your imagination, and your visualization when you're working with this deity, because she is the deity of manifestations. And if you show up, she'll show up. If you show up for her, she'll show up for you. She's also a deity that deals with your sexual energy, right? So your creative energy is in your yoni, women. Sorry, men. So your creative energy is in your yoni, woman. You have to seek inner peace when you're dealing with this type of deity. Realize that Het Heru fulfills your personal fulfillment, especially when it comes to pleasure. So you might want to abstain from sex when you're dealing with this deity as well. Like, you don't want to give anyone your sexual energy. When you're dealing really with any type of deity work, you kind of want to keep your sexual energy to yourself, because it's so powerful. It's so powerful. So when you hold out from sex or even masturbation, especially during this time when you work with your deities, it's going to basically help your manifestations grow 10 times, because that energy that you was giving to someone else, you're keeping it within you, and you're constantly basically allowing it to have an ebb and flow within thyself, right? So I'm trying to just look at the notes. So that's why I was saying, you can, when you keep your energy within, you use it for a sexual manifestation. She deals with like tantric tantric sexual energy, and she could show you how to use it if you really meditate with her. With the men, it's more powerful for you to keep your sperm unless you're really trying to procreate, men, because like I said, sex is energy and sex magic do exist, and some people can master that and some people cannot. You know, some people just have sex to get a nut off, and some people have sex and manifest their reality. So it just depends on what you're using sex for, you know, or if you even know how to manifest during sex. You know, you might, it's better if you have a partner that's like-minded and you guys get both manifest during sex, versus you getting off and then the other person manifesting, you know, and then in a relationship is unbalanced because you continuing to grow and this person is staying stagnant, you know. But sex magic, it do works because of pleasure. It gives the chi, it gives to the chi to give the power. So you want to listen to like megahertz with the megahertz of love, which is 528 Hz. And that's the energy of Venus, the energy of love. But with Het Heru, because she is the law of creation, you have to realize, so this is when you'll learn more and you educate yourself more about the universal laws. So you exist. The one is the all are the one. What you put out, you get back, and everything changes, right? So just realize with this deity, like, she'll come to you if you're really strict with your practice with her, okay? But if you're off point, she won't come to you. She won't. Now, my experience with the deity, I worked with Het Heru for 30 days in April, and I won't say that I was very strict in my practice. I would say that I did well, though, in my practice with the deity. During my meditation visualizations, I would say that I did gain a lot of messages from her. So I did keep a manifestation meditation book while I was working with the deity. I feel like it's always good for you to keep a it's always good for you to keep a meditation journal or even a dream journal, because those are messages that you might need to refer back to. So it's always good to keep a journal in that sense. But I kept a journal when I was working with the deity. I did honor her time by working with her during her time frame of 4 to 8. Every day I couldn't take a bath. If I was unable to take a bath, I'll take a shower, because I'll still cleanse myself and then come back to do meditation or even work with her in various ways. So because she's the deity of love and I'm focusing on self-love, that was one of my main goals of working with her, because, you know, love come in all forms, and I I had index cards that I had put on the altar for like the Psalms that I needed to hear during the time I was working with the deity, the manifestations that I needed to work with while I was working with the deity, as well as the self-love index cards that I needed to perform while I was working with the deity, right? So those were just some of the tactics that I used. You can use whatever tactic that you want. My main goal of working with Het Heru was to, increase my self-love, as well as increase my manifestation skills, and just continue to enhance my beauty, right? So when you work with the deity, you want to show up. This will be the time for you to like put on your Sunday best, even if you go into the market or whatever. And it's really personally for you. When you're working with her for self-love, this is the time for you to identify like the cracks that you might have in your blueprint, or some type of pain that you might still need to heal within your blueprint, shadow work that you might need to do. Now, all set is something else for shadow work. That's a whole nother video. But Het Heru, you just touch on the basis of the shadow work. So shadow work that you might need to confront to figure out what might be stagnation when it comes to your love life, or how it is that you love. Like, she just helps you identify how it is that you love, and how you could either love yourself or love another, because she's the goddess of Venus, right? So if you wanted to do it to attract love, right, where is your heart at? So first you have to have a pure heart before you ask her to help bring love into your life, right? Did you already face the trials and tribulations that you needed to go through to have the love of your life, right? Because she's not a deity that's going to be like, oh, well, I just want to attract a boyfriend or a girlfriend and then make them my husband. Well, where are you at? Like, have you already went through the journey of healing for yourself as well? So you just have to come correct when you're coming to a deity like that. Like, if you just want to try to attract love like that, I would say probably work with Oshun. But with Het Heru, she makes you dig deeper within yourself, right? And like I said, if you treat them well, they treat you well. So I always made sure I had oranges on the altar for the deity. Sometimes I'll put cinnamon on the altar. I would spray her incense spray for her. I even went to the extent of buying fake roses, because there was no real yellow roses in stock nowhere around. I wanted her to have roses, but I also put sand on my altar as the element of earth too. So I had painted some white roses and made them yellow for her to represent what it is that she likes, because it's all about representation. The deities want to see that you actually put in forth effort, right? So it was a great experience working with her. I definitely will work with her in the future as well. I will be a little bit more stricter. I always tell people, don't be too hard on yourself, because, you still have to make time work around your schedule, but still honor their schedule as well, right? So whatever works for you, you just have to be more mindful of it. So because I went through this experience, I'm happy that I went through this experience and I was able to see, the beauty that she actually helped instill in me, even the self-love, like, certain things I may have battled with, I'm stronger than I was a month ago from this journey with Het Heru. Don't ever let anyone discourage you. If you really feel as though that you want to work with one of these deities, and it could be any deity of your choosing, please do so. This is your life. Whatever your soul or your spirit is calling you to do it. Be unapologetic about it too. If people misunderstand you, that's just them. Live in your truth and truly do what's best for you, because you only got the one life to live, and life is truly short. So I really hope that this video helped you guys on your quest of your spirituality, and if you were thinking about working with this deity, which you can expect as well. So thank you guys for tuning into my channel, the IC. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And if you have yet to do so, click my link below to shop at my store and get you your wands or any of your crowns for your metaphysical needs. Okay guys, love you lots. Peace and blessings.